Number 10. Janice Dickinson. She was known as the world's first supermodel and was hugely successful during the 1970s and 80s. Recently, she's been quite the TV star, appearing as a judge on America's Next Top Model, Celebrity Big Brother in 2015, and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in 2007. The 67-year-old model has never been shy about admitting that she's had plastic surgery and confessed to having a breast enlargement, tummy tuck, neck and facelifts, and liposuction and Botox in the past. Although the various surgeries had really gotten out of hand over the years, and in 2013 she declared herself bankrupt after over $1 million in taxes and unpaid cosmetic bills. 2 years later, she appeared on Botched to fix her boob job that was done 30 years before, saying at the time that she was no stranger to plastic surgery. But her perspective really changed in 2013 when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. In fact, she initially thought the lump in her breast was a botched boob job, telling Entertainment Tonight, quote, "If I had to play my life over again, I would have never gotten breast implants in the first place." But fortunately, the following year, she was declared cancer-free after 6 weeks of radiation therapy. Number 9. Tara Reid. There's no doubt that the American Pie star was one of Hollywood's it girls in the late 90s and early 2000s. But while the actress was at the pinnacle of success in her career, she was also going through various issues stemming from botched plastic surgery, and she ended up missing out on a whole bunch of roles because of it. Tara claimed that in 2004, breast implants and liposuction surgeries left her with disfigurements that damaged her career. She told US Weekly, quote, "My stomach became the most ripply, bulgy thing. I had a hernia, this huge bump next to my belly button. As a result, I couldn't wear a bikini. I lost a lot of work." Tara said that after the procedures, she knew something was wrong when it came to her breast implants, but she was 6 months post-op when she realized that it had been terribly botched. Quote, "The actual center part where the areola is, instead of it being a circle, it turned out to be a large square. It was horrifying." She also went through an infamous wardrobe malfunction on the red carpet at Diddy's 35th birthday party in 2004, which resulted in her body going viral, which left her devastated. Tara said she cried and begged photographers not to release the photos because the last thing she wanted to happen was to have the whole world see it. Number 8. Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke was one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. He made his feature film debut with a minor role in Steven Spielberg's 1941 and garnered significant attention with 1981's Body Heat. However, in the early 90s, the actor decided to take up professional boxing, and while that brought him success, it also came with a string of severe facial injuries. Rourke reportedly faced a broken nose twice, suffered toe and rib injuries, a split tongue, a compressed cheekbone, and even short-term memory loss for some time. As a result, the actor had to undergo several reconstructive surgeries to fix himself up, but most of them did not achieve the desired result, so he had to undergo even more surgery to correct those mistakes. Eventually, Rourke's facial features were nearly unrecognizable compared to his initial appearance. In 2009, he finally opened up to the Daily Mail about it. Quote, "Most of it was to mend the mess of my face because of the boxing, but I went to the wrong guy to put my face back together," which is really sad because it was probably just down to having a really sketchy plastic surgeon. Number 7. Priscilla Presley. Priscilla has always been admired for her beauty, but she has undergone multiple plastic surgery procedures in recent years, and some have gone a little bit too far. But this is all down to one tragic procedure in 2003 that should have never been done. The former wife of Elvis Presley was the victim of an unlicensed doctor and was left with botched plastic surgery that changed her looks forever. Dr. Daniel Serrano administered surgery on several Hollywood A-listers, including Lionel Richie, his ex-wife Diane, and Shaun King, the late wife of CNN presenter and TV host Larry King. He only charged between $300 to $500 and operated on his clients at lavish cocktail parties in Hollywood. But Serrano was only a licensed nurse, and when he carried out the procedure, he used industrial-grade silicone, which is often used to lubricate car parts. The fake doctor eventually went to prison, and Priscilla has reportedly been undergoing corrective treatments ever since, but her changing face has also been attributed to Presley's alleged extensive history with plastic surgery, which reportedly includes multiple facelifts, laser treatments, as well as lip and cheek fillers. So this is probably why her look has changed so much over the years. Number 6. Lisa Rinna. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star and soap opera actress Lisa Rinna has been very open about her plastic surgery choices, mainly her decision to plump her lips with injections, which definitely seemed to have gone a little bit too far. Rinna had permanent silicone filler injected into her top lip, which she initially loved, but eventually she decided to have it reduced after facing criticism for her appearance. She told People in 2010, quote, "I was crazy to even touch them in the first place. In total, she's had 4 injections, and she explained that in the beginning, it was great, but after about 10 years, the silicone started seeping through her lip and creating scar tissue that was hard and bumpy. She claimed that when she would get photographed, her lips would look a certain way, and then people would start to talk." The TV star said that she even tried cortisone shots to reduce the swelling, but instead of helping it, it actually made them look worse. Quote, "I have a doctor to remove as much as they possibly can because it got to the point where they were yucky. You know, they get hard, it's gross." Lisa said that the doctor took out as much silicone as possible, and now her lips are somewhat back to normal. Number 5. Jennifer Grey. After being catapulted to mega fame in 1987 for playing Baby in Dirty Dancing, Jennifer's career seemed to stall, and although she was personally happy with her nose and its distinct bump, she underwent plastic surgery at the age of 29 to boost her career and gain more acting roles. But Jennifer said it actually ended up being the surgery that affected her ability to get jobs. Quote, "I went into the operating room a celebrity and came out as anonymous." She told The Mirror in 2012 that it was the nose job from hell, and she'll always be this once famous actress that nobody recognizes because of a nose job. After her first surgery, she was thrilled with the way she looked. Then less than a year later, she noticed that a tiny bit of cartilage was visible under the surface of her nose. Jennifer then underwent a second surgery to correct the issue, but when she woke up, she discovered that she no longer looked like herself at all. To make matters worse, when the public got wind of the situation, the star felt humiliated, as many people did not believe that she was Jennifer Grey anymore, and she would often have to go to great lengths just to prove that she was in fact who she said she was. Number 4. Kylie Jenner. The Keeping Up with the Kardashians star has basically grown up in the spotlight, so her transformation from tween to teen and now a 20-something mother has all been before our very eyes, which means that it's not hard to notice the drastic changes to Kylie's appearance in the more than 10 years since the show first aired in 2007. While fans have speculated about Kylie having undergone everything from lip filler to a Brazilian butt lift, it's hard to separate fact from fiction when it comes to her ever-changing aesthetic. But after years of denying that she had lip filler, the star eventually came clean about that particular cosmetic touch-up. During a 2015 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kylie admits, quote, "I have temporary lip fillers. It's just an insecurity of mine and it's what I wanted to do. But it's a little bit sad when you look at why she got it done. Quote, "I was 15 and I was insecure about my lips. I have really small lips, and it was just like one of my first kisses and a guy was like, I didn't think you would be a good kisser because you have such small lips." She also admitted that she definitely made her lips a little too big at one point, before her sisters pointed it out and said, "Kylie, you need to chill." They were definitely right to let her know when it was becoming a little too much. Number 3. Reed Ewing. The Modern Family actor stars in one of the most successful shows on television, but Reed revealed in a Huffington Post op-ed that he'd been waging a private battle with his looks. He bravely opened up about his battle with body dysmorphia, unhealthy obsession with his physical flaws, and the plastic surgery that he had turned to as a solution. Reed wrote that when he first moved to LA at 19, he would apparently sit alone in his apartment and take photos of himself, and try to analyze every single angle and feature of his face. Quote, "After a few years of doing this, one day I decided I had to get cosmetic surgery. No one is allowed to be this ugly, I thought. It's unacceptable." In 2008, he decided to see a plastic surgeon to get the first of many surgeries he would go on to have. He wanted cheek implants and wrote that he genuinely believed if he had one procedure, he would suddenly look like Brad Pitt. But he wished he hadn't because that's where the nightmare began. Quote, "After all the swelling finally went down, the results were horrendous. Reed isolated himself from everyone and it took him 6 months before he was comfortable with people even looking at him. It's extremely upsetting that his battle with body dysmorphia won, and it just left him feeling worse about himself after all the surgery." Number 2. Joan Van Ark. The actress became famous for her roles on the nighttime soap operas Dallas and Knots Landing between the late 1970s to early 1990s. And while she was known to to be extremely beautiful at the peak of her acting career, Joan's appearance has changed so much over the years due to her extreme addiction to plastic surgery. If you want to know the extent of the procedures, one source who allegedly saw Joan in January 2020 told the Globe that it looked like her face was melting. Now that's pretty harsh to say, but it might just be that bad, considering just how much the 79-year-old has reportedly gone under the knife. We're talking about blepharoplasty, cheek and lip fillers, Botox injections. In fact, plastic surgeon Dr. Anthony Yun told the National Enquirer that Van Ark's drastically changed appearance is also due to at least 1 or 2 facelifts, which is what caused her neckline and jawline to look tight. But this is all speculation, and everyone knows working in the industry comes with various pressures to stay young. So addiction to cosmetic surgery is unfortunately something that comes with the territory. And coming in at number 1, Katie Price. Since becoming a household name as a glamour model in the 90s, Katie Price's brand has become synonymous with plastic surgery. As a 44-year-old status has risen over the last 2 decades, so has the number of times she's gone under the knife, leaving her now completely unrecognizable from her former self. But Katie has always been honest about the work she's had done, like the fact that she's had a whopping 12 boob jobs over the last 25 years, and she got the first one when she was only 18. But a trip to Turkey for one of the procedures resulted in a botched boob job. She told The Sun, quote, "I had my boobs done in Turkey and they looked deformed. They were absolutely awful." She's also had veneers done, and in June last year, Katie endured one of the most ambitious rounds of surgery yet, as she underwent another facelift on the same day that she also treated herself to liposuction and fat injections to her bum. The TV personality is also a big fan of Botox and has underwent an eye and brow lift that has left her face with a sharp, tight look. Plastic surgery is definitely synonymous with her brand at this point, and although Katie has said many times that she has no plan to stop going under the knife, just by looking at old pictures, it's easy to see that she looked a lot better before.
So, starting off our list at number 10 today, we have Lea Michele. It seems like Lea Michele just can't catch a break, as she has had to face quite a lot of controversy over the years, be it her rumored and unverified reading struggles or the bullying allegations she faced for her on-set behavior. But the latest thing social media has been talking about has more to do with her appearance, as her face looks thinner and more sculpted, and it's a completely different shape altogether. She's definitely not the same girl we all saw walking through the halls on Glee, which makes you wonder, has Lea Michele had buccal fat removal surgery done? Lately, it seems like the actress's fans are convinced that she is one of the latest celebs to jump on this increasingly popular trend, and fans have even pointed out that the star looks a lot like Stan from American Dad. But lately, it seems like there isn't one soul in Hollywood that hasn't had any type of procedure done to their face, and then these women become the ones that preach about how we should be the ones loving our authentic selves when they aren't even authentic themselves. Number 9. Chrissy Teigen. So unless you're a plastic surgeon or you religiously follow Chrissy Teigen, which seems to be very few people at this point today, then you may have never heard about buccal fat removal. So the procedure involves removing the fat from your cheeks to create a more contoured face so you can see your cheekbones more. And it seems like today the procedure is becoming increasingly popular. Back in 2021, Chrissy would head to her Instagram story to talk about her new changed look when she said, "I did the Dr. Diamond buccal fat removal thing here, and since I quit drinking, I'm really seeing the results and I like it." The star then went on to know that she did what she had to do and that she had no shame in her game. And then she went on to tag Dr. Diamond in the clip. While Chrissy has long been candid about her cosmetic procedures and surgeries, this had to be the weirdest one yet, as this surgery just doesn't really look good on anyone.
Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.
Well, kicking it back off to our list, at number 8 we have Bella Hadid. Now, the real question many of us have been debating is, has Bella Hadid had buccal fat removal done, or has she simply just grown into her looks over the years? And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, then you must be convinced that this star has in fact had the procedure done. And if you don't, just hear me out for a quick second. I might just change your mind. So if you compare Bella now to when she was younger, you will see that she definitely has a little more fluff between the lower portion of her cheekbone and her mid-jaw area. And now it's just looking a little more chiseled, which adds even more flame to the rumor is that if you have buccal fat removal done, this tends to be the area where the fat is removed from. While the procedure may have made some improvements to her face as it exposed her cheekbones in V-line, it's also made her face look a little too narrow to the point when she is standing next to other models, her new look actually looks quite bad. So it does go on to prove that not everyone will get big improvements when they have this procedure done. Number 7, Anya Taylor-Joy. With buccal fat removal surgery taking Hollywood by the storm, it's been said that this procedure is likely to have one major side effect that may put you a bit off, as it seems to add 10 years to your age. To celebrities who have been trying this new trend, this proves it. Among the stars to have allegedly had this procedure done is Anya Taylor-Joy, and before you even think about having this procedure done, you might just want to use Anya as a reference to why you shouldn't get this procedure done, as the procedure has left her face looking a little more tragic than it should at her age. So before she got the procedure done, Anya actually had a pretty attractive face, and she honestly didn't need to have this procedure done, but now she looks much older than she did before. And the most concerning part is that she was only in her 20s. Also, with this procedure being so new still, 20 years, there could be complications with droopy skin, and there might not be a way to reverse this procedure once you get it done. Number 6, Dove Cameron. It seems like a surprising number of teenagers and young adults lately are seeking out facial cosmetic procedures, and among the celebrities that seem to be part of these people is Dove Cameron. While Dove first caught everyone's attention due to her flawless complexion, we all came to love her big eyes, long lashes, plump lips, and this cute little tiny button nose. And before she went from blonde to brunette, she was actually like a real-life Barbie doll. But now that the actress has changed it, it makes you wonder if it's all the hair and makeup, or has she just enhanced her facial features? And if you take a look at photos from when she first entered the entertainment scene to today, it appears that her overall look has changed, as there is now more projection to her cheeks and her chin, and there is a much bigger distance from her lashes to her eyebrows. While the star has never gone on record to admit any of the rumors that surround her new look, it's not really shocking to why there are so many younger people seeking out cosmetic procedures more than ever before. Number 5, Zoe Kravitz. Over the years, Zoe Kravitz's looks have changed to the point it has been suspected not only has she had a nose job, lip filler, cheek filler, chin implants, and a ponytail facelift, but fans are also suspecting that the star has also had buccal fat removal, as she looks very different from what she used to when she was younger. While Zoe has never admitted to having plastic surgery done, her looks have changed too much to say she hasn't. While some people have claimed that she has inherited her looks from her mother and that there's natural differences in her face from her age, others will tell you to touch some grass because she's obviously had procedures done to look the way she looks today. With Zoe's cheekbones now looking very sharp and defined, her cheekbones look nothing like they used to when she was younger, as she now has this hollow right before her elevated cheeks. And while you may believe this is just part of the aging process, as she lost her baby fat, her cheeks have changed so drastically in a short period of time that this is an indication that the star has had some work done. Number 4, Iggy Azalea. While Iggy has previously admitted to undergoing cosmetic surgeries in the past, her new striking appearance may be results of further cosmetic procedures. Back in 2018, a leading Beverly Hills plastic surgeon named Dr. Randall Haworth told Daily Mail Australia that he believed the rapper could have had some more additional changes done to her face to give her a new chiseled look. While majority of her results have been beautiful, don't get me wrong, it's clear that she has transformed her face over the years with not only a chin augmentation, jawline contouring, a slight brow lift, and cheek filler, but she has also had buccal fat removal done. While the star hasn't talked about all the plastic surgery she could have done, she has once said people should be more accepting to the fact that both famous and non-famous women are having cosmetic procedures. That's just reality, and I think more people need to admit that so it doesn't have to be so taboo when we're all doing it anyways. She then went on to note that she too has changed her appearance and that there's always going to be people that dislike you for that matter. But as long as you like it, you like it. That's all that matters, right? Number 3, Khloe Kardashian. The Kardashian-Jenner clan has long been linked to plastic surgery, but recently Khloe has been slammed with never-ending Instagram trolls who have accused the star of having butt implants, nose jobs, despite denying most of the claims. It's kind of hard not to talk about her never-ending changing appearance throughout the years. Back in 2022, even a board-certified plastic surgeon named Dr. Anthony Yoon would speak to The Sun about Khloe's alleged plastic surgery, where he would explain, "I also think she may have had her lips done, most likely injected with filler." Anthony then went on to note that he also believed Khloe had a brow lift to lift her brows up, and buccal fat removal done to make her face appear slimmer. Her face overall looks more narrow. That could be due to buccal fat removal and injections of Botox to her jaw muscles. That basically can help narrow the jawline, while the Good American founder has said she is offended that people think she has had so much work done. But what's really baffling is that her and her family still think that they can create such false realities around their looks. Number 2, Sophie Turner. So back in January, Sophie Turner's before and after photos would hint that the actress has undergone buccal fat removal just like the rest of the celebrities on this list today. While buccal fat removal has become the latest trend among Hollywood stars, her face has been looking a little more defined in recent pics as the trend among celebrities is becoming viral. While the surgery has been around for the last 50 years, it's only started to go viral on social media recently. Sophie's appearance has changed since she appeared on Games of Thrones, and it's clear in her recent pictures her face appears to be a little more chiseled than it did before. And while you may think this was achieved by contouring or Photoshop, her face is just a little too chiseled to suggest that she didn't have this procedure done, because she did. And coming in number 1 today, we have Sarah Hyland. It seems like social media users are now also suspecting that actress Sarah Hyland, most known for her role in Modern Family, has recently undergone a procedure to remove her buccal fat pads as her face has changed quite a bit, and she's completely lost her plump and round cheeks. While people have claimed that there's a reason why her face looked a little more swollen than usual on season 8 of Modern Family because of her health complications, her face does look a little more sharper today. And while the star could just be doing a few tricks models have done over the years to make her lips look fuller and her cheeks look more defined, she could also be sucking in her cheekbones for photos, but honestly it's probably just safe to say that she had the procedure done because it's unrealistic and it's clear that the war against buccal fat remover wages on, and Sarah's new look has nothing to do with just weight loss, aging, and health complications.
Erin Moriarty has become the new face, literally, of young celebrities giving into public perception and beauty standards, partly because the dichotomy found in her getting plastic surgery when her character, Starlight, in the show that launched her fame, The Boys, struggles with media attention on her body and face and receiving pressure to look a certain way and appease beauty standards. For fans of her character to see Erin undergo surgery for the exact thing Starlight was trying to run from, it caused a mass wave on social media. It became the epicenter of a conversation on young women being deeply affected by beauty standards and what features are deemed beautiful or not. Megyn Kelly recently did a news story with the Daily Wire's Michael Knowles calling plastic surgery a social illness. Kelly used Moriarty, who has received buccal fat removal, a chin and jaw shave surgery, a nose job, microblading, and lip injections as her example, saying more and more young women are doing this, referring to unnecessary plastic surgery on an already beautiful face. Kelly said, "It's not about an objection to plastic surgery, it's about an obsession with turning yourself into a fake version of yourself. I find it like a sign of mental illness. I really want to get into the heads of these young girls and say, please don't do this." Another fan base that was quick to point out the differences in their fave celeb was Noah Cyrus's. Noah Cyrus, who actually looked quite similar to her sister Miley and her mother Tish in her younger years, first went through a shocking visual change circa circa 2020, she debuted lip filler and cheek filler and microbladed eyebrows, as was the trend at the time in beauty, and it's something she's maintained as a visual sin. But in 2023, it looks like she went a step further when she got a nose job, as was pointed out by her fans after she attended the January 2023 Paris Fashion Week looking shockingly different. And now, in 2024, she has sparked rumors for buccal fat removal, as she's recently debuted uber gaunt cheeks, the current trend thanks to Ozempic as well. Someone who's also faced some commentary for looking different from their debut days is Quan Nara, the former Hello Venus K-pop idol turned actress's plastic surgery controversy was sparked when photos from her junior high days were leaked online. There are some noticeable differences, primarily in the brow bone and nose area, which sparked discussions and some rumors about her having had plastic surgery. As the rumors escalated, she eventually addressed the speculation through a TV episode of Taxi, after the host admitted to having had plastic surgery himself on his nose and eyes. Nara explained, "I was shocked by my appearance at the beginning of my debut and have been consistently working on staying in shape ever since." She also insisted she never received plastic surgery, but that she's just been getting Botox for a long time. Despite her claim, plenty of her adoring fans did send messages of positivity and love, claiming even if she did have plastic surgery, as many still suspect she did, they weren't going to judge her for it. Reed Ewing, however, judged himself pretty harshly and shared how that affected his plastic surgery journey in the Huffington Post. The Modern Family actor expressed in an essay he had written about his heartbreaking battle with body dysmorphia. Ewing revealed that after moving to LA for bigger and better gigs, he became obsessed over what he perceived to be imperfections in his appearance as a man. That he wasn't handsome enough, chiseled enough, that these things would affect his career and his castability. His first plastic surgery as a result is at 19 when he gets cheek implants, which he described as incredibly painful both physically and emotionally. He had to wear a mask for weeks after the procedure, which led to him temporarily avoiding his home to avoid people knowing he had had it. Ewing claimed that the implants had actually made his face appear more gaunt because they defined his cheekbones rather than the actual cheek, and his second doctor then suggested a chin implant as a correction, instead of just removing the problem implants. Ewing got additional procedures, which led to more procedures, all in an effort to correct the prior ones. He had essentially become addicted to plastic surgery and explained that never once did a doctor recommend removing the things and just getting therapy. They always recommended doing more and more, feeding into the addiction and lining their own pockets. Reed has since sworn off plastic surgery in 2023, claiming it made him feel even more insecure and isolated than he did before he got any work done at all. Nikita Draga needed plastic surgery to help her blossom into the woman that she is, but she too, like Reed, became addicted and fell into a pattern of unnecessary surgeries that chased down imagined imperfections. Nikita, who was born the male sex, transitioned to the female sex over the past decade and shared that journey online, earning millions of followers in the process with her bold and brash personality. But in 2018, Nikita decided to get real about another side of herself she wasn't documenting. To quote, "I recently broke this addiction," she expressed, "and I know that's a lot to take in, but let me explain." Nikita shared that the hardest part of her transition was her hormone therapy. The changes in her body resulted in her being critical of her appearance, suffering from body dysphoria, and ultimately leading her to undergo more and more cosmetic procedures. Getting her brow bone and jaw shaved, she got 4 nose jobs, she got Botox, she got breast implants, which required more surgery to fix the complications with the breast tissue following. To quote, "I felt this immense pressure to need to pass, to need to be a woman, to need to feel this level of confidence, so I was really in this dark place where I had to look in the mirror and stop myself from wanting to change everything because it got to the point where I didn't even know why I was doing the surgeries anymore," she explained. Thankfully, the starlet has recovered from her addiction and continues to be an advocate for transgender youth and those with plastic surgery addictions. Crystal Hefner also came clean about her plastic surgery addiction and how it was shaped too by the unrealistic pressures put on women to fit certain parameters of beauty, or otherwise they'd be deemed unwomanly. As a Playboy model and one of Hugh Hefner's wives, Crystal Hefner felt that she was expected to look a certain way, explaining years later, "I don't know whether I felt empowered by dressing scantily clad, showing cleavage, etc., or if I just felt it was expected of me or what," she shared on Instagram. Whatever the reasons were, Hefner had a variety of surgeries performed on her, which eventually took a toll on her health. Her breast implants caused memory loss, spatial disorientation, migraines, and fatigue, and a fat transfer surgery almost cost her her life. After all her negative experiences experiences with cosmetic alterations and exhausted of maintaining the Hefner image after the dirtbag's death, Crystal opted for a more natural look, both in real life and on social media. To quote her, "I removed everything fake from my body and I deleted all my old photos. I am more authentic, vulnerable, and I feel I belong more to myself." She further explained she had concerns about who would stick around with her account moving in that new direction. "As I saw followers drop by the thousands every day, I was in the red. I was watching girls that had similar pages keep posting the same scantily clad stuff and growing exponentially while I tanked hard." But in the end, while she initially lost followers, her numbers eventually rebounded into a fan base that respected her authenticity. This next influencer once gave an Instagram shout out to a plastic surgeon. It's Sophia Richie. The plastic surgeon she shouted out in question was celebrity Jason Diamond, to whom she accredited "Thank you for always taking care of me." Though Sophia, 29 at the time, didn't specify what work she'd had done, Dr. Rodriguez, who's a board-certified internal medicine physician, suggests based off her age and her facial changes during aging, to quote, "Sophia has likely received a rhinoplasty, lip fillers, and under eye filler, and maybe chin filler. As for her wrinkle-free skin, probably Botox injections or laser treatments." Speaking of barely there adjustments made through plastic surgery, Hailey Bieber has had some sneaky subtle style of work done on her as well. Most of the young celebs nowadays, it's very subtle. Or do you not remember the iconic Kanye 2022 moment where for no reason during social media rant he aired out the fact Hailey had a rhinoplasty, calling her nose job Hailey Bald Loose? The model, 27, vehemently denied it at the time, but the rumor's been following her forever, and understandably so when past and present pictures are lined up. According to Dr. Ramtin Kassir, founder of Kassir Plastic Surgery, he thinks she got work done specifically around her eyes. To quote, "She likely had a blepharoplasty, aka a brow lift, or some expertly injected Botox around the brows." Another starlet who had blink and you miss it minor plastic surgery was Dove Cameron. There's no denying this one. The Descendants star, 28, has been acting since 8, so it's not surprising her look would evolve, but her acid changes suggest more than just growing up. Dove really looks like how she did when she was younger, just if you also happen to grab the skin around her temple and upper cheekbone area and yank it back towards her hairline. Dove has gotten a rhinoplasty as well as upper blepharoplasty, as her eyelids are no longer as hooded, claims Dr. Carlos Rodriguez, director of Skinny Med Spa. He also threw in the speculation her lips may have filler, but he can't determine that as a factor of age or not, unlike very obvious brow lift. And last up is a celebrity whose subtle surgery combos became not so subtle when paired together. It's actually Miley Cyrus. Pair up her buccal fat removal, the big veneers with lip filler, eyebrow lift, and her newest diet of Ozempic, and you got a Miley Cyrus that looks like a permanently surprised Tim Burton character. This exact cocktail is what almost all our adored female celebrities have had done in the recent years. It's a surefire winner, and it highlights all the features most popular in bone structure and faces right now. But that's the thing. Just because a feature's popular doesn't mean you can make it suit your face. Take Cyrus's notoriously soft cheeks and round face. It's completely genetic. You see them on both her parents and her siblings, but Miley decided to suck the buccal fat out and expose her cheekbones, which her face isn't really meant to do. It's caused the singer to look extremely gaunt. It clashes with her newest set of veneers, which they themselves are a whole other problem because they're too big for her mouth. You haven't noticed she's always had it open recently? I think she's playing it off well as an aesthetics thing, but it genuinely seems like it's just uncomfortable for Miley Cyrus to have her mouth closed around those giant veneers. You can even see the difference between them and her authentic teeth photographed in years prior. Meanwhile, up top, Miley did an eyebrow lift, which is to help her cheekbone not look so much gaunt as delicate, but it didn't really take. Instead, Miley is given a distinctly surprised and skeletal looking face, and since her cheeks were drained and her eyebrows yanked back, her eyes are looking larger than life in the middle. While the singer's newest 70s style aesthetic, 70s country blend aesthetic is helping carry these newly augmented features, as is her stylist. You know, the big coiffed hair distracts from the yanked back eyebrows, slinky 70s dresses distract from an alarmingly thin Ozempic frame, etc, etc. There's no denying Miley's had some very in-your-face work done on, well, her face.
Number 10. Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian is one of many people from the Kardashian crew that I could have chosen for this list, but unlike some of her sisters, Khloe has opened up to fans about her cosmetic surgery journey, revealing her only regret about having a nose job. For years, Keeping Up with Kardashian's fans had questioned whether Khloe had any work done on her nose or any other part of her body really. During the show's reunion special last year, she confirmed that she had the surgery. She had apparently been hesitant to share the information with fans, as she claimed that the world is just a bit too easy to set off and that people would more than likely bombard her with backlash, which is exactly what happened. After revealing the truth, she was blasted with questions left and right. Why? What? When? Where? Huh? According to Khloe, the main reason she wanted to try something different was because she was tired of being compared to her siblings all the time. The Kardashian clan is large and filled with basically one of every kind of crazy, but Khloe has maintained that she regrets trying to alter herself just to be a little bit more different than her sisters. Number 9. Cardi B. Cardi B has never been coy about the plastic surgery procedures that she's had done. During an Instagram live video in December 2022, she talked about a procedure that she had done to her bum years ago and gave her followers a word of advice while doing so. Following the birth of her son, Wave, that's a great name, in September in 2021, people said that they thought she had work done, when in reality she had gotten surgery in August to have 95% of her bipolymer bum injection removed. She went on to tell people that they should do research and listen to their doctors, not just when it comes to bum injections, but also Brazilian bum lifts. Seriously, why can't I say butt? And all the other plastic and cosmetic surgeries. In 2019, the rapper got candid about having to cancel and postpone shows because she needed time off to recover from a liposuction. On Twitter, she talked about having to miss work for 2 weeks because of that. And in that same year, Cardi also told Entertainment Tonight that she had a chest lift after giving birth to her daughter, Culture, and was unhappy with needing to take the time off. So Cardi's biggest problem is not with the procedures themselves, but the recovery time it seems to take. Well, fear no more with InstaLift. No, I'm just kidding, that's not real, but oh man, I've got a good pitch for Shark Tank. Number 8. Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen has no issue when it comes to being open about what plastic surgery procedures she has done. The 35-year-old model recently took to her Instagram story to show off the results of the cosmetic surgery procedure that she revealed she underwent: buccal fat removal. The goal of buccal fat removal is to thin the cheeks, and specifically in the area of the cheek hollows, and I'm not talking about face cheeks. While she claims that the removal was a success and that she could see the results, the aftermath of the situation left her on the other side of the argument. She was candid about this procedure. Many were still questioning how she got her face cheeks to look so perfect though. Speculation started running wild of people claiming to know for a fact that she had fillers. In fact, an entire YouTube channel was dedicated to proving that this woman was made of silicone. She addressed the rumors online and claimed that she did in fact receive the aforementioned bum solution, but she denied that the claims that she received any kind of cheek fillers, and instead she made it known that she was not an advocate for body morphing, claiming that the only time that should ever be done is for medical purposes. Number 7. Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie has been a staple in the world of Hollywood ever since starring in the iconic 1978 horror flick Halloween. She slowly made herself a force to be reckoned with, making her way through several iconic shows and films before landing an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in last year's Everything Everywhere All at Once. Jamie has been very open about her life when asked in interviews. She is an open book ready to be read by any and all that are interested. When the topic of plastic surgery comes up, Jamie is very loud with her opinion, claiming people should not F with their faces. In 1985, Jamie underwent a handful of procedures to increase her beauty. She got Botox and liposuction, which she admitted made her feel terrible. She also recounted trying to change her hairstyle all the time, but the reinvention of Jamie Lee just never took place. Now in her 60s, Jamie is still stunning, and it's got nothing to do with surgery. Just a long life of running away from masked maniacs. Number 6. Kim Kardashian. The reality star can be tight-lipped about the cosmetic procedures that she has undergone, and has repeatedly denied getting plastic surgery, but on a forthcoming episode of The Kardashians, she seems to make a surprising confession. In a peek at season 3 shared by her sister Khloe on Snapchat, Kim is seen taking voice lessons. While talking to her vocal coach, the Skims founder admitted that she couldn't use her neck muscles to sing because half of hers were probably Botoxed. Kim admitted to having a little bit of Botox in a 2022 Allure interview, but claims that she's had no filler, adding that she will never fill her cheeks and she's never filled her lips and all this jazz. While this may be true, back in 2010, Kardashian suffered facial bruises after getting Botox before she turned 30, an experience that was documented on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kim claims that the surgeon warned her of all the possible side effects, like they're supposed to do, but because it was the first time receiving the procedure, she flipped out in front of the cameras. Since then, Kim has steered clear of any more Botox-related procedures, claiming that she felt a constant burning sensation for days afterwards, being some of the most painful moments of her life. Number 5. Courtney Cox. The Friends star was speaking with the UK Sunday Times style magazine ahead of the launch of her new comedy horror TV show, Shining Vale, in which she plays a depressed novelist who moves from New York City to rural Connecticut with her family. Cox herself is facing up to the fact that she is not far off from 60. She admitted that she initially tried to fight aging with all kinds of cosmetic trends, but eventually realized that she had gone crazy and is now trying to age gracefully. Despite her global superstar status, Cox said her confidence was dented a few years ago after shooting a pilot for a series that was never produced. Thankfully, the treatment she received could be removed. Her face filler slowly dissolved, and it would appear that she's decided to steer clear of any more cosmetic situations, proven by her role in the new Scream series, where she really does not look all that different from her Friends days. Number 4. Sharon Osbourne. The Talk host, who is 70, admitted that she came to the decision to quit with the surgeries after an October 2021 facelift left her with one eye lower than the other one. TV personality and wife to the Prince of Darkness, Sharon previously spoke about regretting the horrendous facelift with the Sunday Times. She said she had a full facelift that October that left her looking like a mummy in an enormous amount of pain. Not only did the procedure leave her with one droopy eye, but she added that the 5.5-hour operation was not worth the time or the price tag. In fact, she kept calling herself a cyclops because they did such a bad job. At least she was able to laugh about the situation. Since her last botched job, Sharon has decided to steer clear of the whole surgical route for now, and instead is going with the au naturel look. Number 3. Tara Reid. Tara was initially a rising star in the world of Hollywood, being featured in several franchises over the years, but as time went on, her career slowed down and she was offered less and less roles. This was thanks to the reality series called Taradise, which showcased her penchant for the party lifestyle. A wardrobe malfunction at a party for P. Diddy in 2004, in which one part of her chest was visible for all the world to see, did not help the situation. Shots of her deformed chest quickly circulated on the internet, and Reid says that she was devastated. She had consulted with a plastic surgeon who gave her a completely different size than she had wanted, and Reid also had a procedure called body contouring done by the same surgeon, and she was unhappy with those results as well. Reid went under the procedure again one more time to get the previously botched jobs corrected. She says she saw a therapist for about a year to get help with her confidence issues and has settled down since her Taradise days. And on top of that, she's also steered clear from too many more surgeries, urging anyone who is going under to do some research first and, check those sources. Number 2. Mickey Rourke. In the 1980s, Mickey Rourke began to find success as an actor. He was praised for his appearance. The Independent compared his youthful appearance to Marlon Brando or James Dean. So when the actor's appearance changed in the 90s, fans started asking questions, and as it turns out, the explanation for the transformation, it makes sense. Speaking on the topic of plastic surgery, Rourke told the Daily Mail in 2009 that most of his was to mend the mess of his face after boxing. Rourke had cartilage taken from his ear to help rebuild his nose, which was an operation that he called one of the most painful things he had ever gone through. His biggest regret comes from not doing enough research before booking the appointment. Seriously, this whole list could just be top 10 times he should have done research. He's quoted as saying he went to the wrong guy to get his face fixed. Well, he has claimed that he's only had one more surgery to attempt to fix things. He has since become a public advocate for only getting surgery if it's for health purposes, because sometimes you need a part of your arm grafted to your shin. People are wild. At number 1, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman has admitted that she regretted using Botox to battle the signs of aging. The Australian actress confessed that she did indeed use the cosmetic injections, but said that it was an unfortunate step in her beauty regime, adding that she was glad to regain some of the movement in her face. She recounts getting Botox at one point and claiming that it had unfortunately left her face looking a little disfigured, ultimately opting out to get another jab. She claims to have hated the way she looked when she first received the shot, shots, very quickly realizing what a mistake she had made. She claims that her beauty comes from a natural place outside of that, saying in interviews that she is not one to advocate for plastic surgery. She claims to use sunscreen, not do any illegal substances, and she takes care of herself. Boring!
Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Amanda Bynes. Back in 2013, Amanda Bynes' parents would outline a troubling portrait of the star in a court papers as they were seeking a legal conservatorship to manage her affairs. Among other things, they would also tell Ventura County Court that Amanda had been suffering from severe body image issues that left her feeling extremely paranoid about being watched, to the point that she would cover smoke alarms with towels, tape windows shut, and even cover her car dashboard with cardboard and tape out of fear that cameras were watching her from inside these places. Amanda's fears were so strong that she soon became obsessed with the idea that she and others were ugly. Her parents also noted that this was around the time their daughter also started to talk about cosmetic surgeries that she wanted to get consistently, and that they even received large doctor bills from surgeons just a few months since they moved to New York, as Amanda had spent a large amount of her fortune. With Amanda being worth only $4 million at the time, she spent around $1.3 million of her money just in a short amount of time, which was kinda concerning. Number 9. Heidi Montag. So back in 2010, Heidi Montag would admit to the Daily Mail that she wished she hadn't wasted so much of her money on plastic surgery after she and Spencer Pratt revealed that they were considering filing for bankruptcy after blowing their $10 million fortune. The reality TV couple who splurged all of their fortune on crystals, luxury cars, and Heidi's plastic surgery and failed pop album would also know that they owed close to $2 million in taxes. The former stars of The Hills would then claim that they had to move into Spencer's parents' guest home after struggling to pay the rent on their $35,000 a month Malibu mansion. Heidi then would go on to note that Spencer's parents would even have to go out to the grocery stores for them on the weekend, and that she regrets her costly decision to undergo 10 plastic surgery procedures. Before saying, "I spent thousands on the procedures and aftercare. I had private nurses coming twice a day for 2 months for treatments and bandage chances. Each time they came, it cost $2,000. I wish I didn't waste so much money on it." Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson passed away in 2009, his passing would leave behind so many unanswered questions about the eccentric pop star's alleged plastic surgery. Throughout his career, his dramatic transformations made him infamous, as fans wondered exactly how much surgery he had. In 2015, a documentary would be released called The 10 Faces of Michael Jackson, and in this documentary it would hint that the late singer had more than 100 procedures done on his face, and that the late star passed away with a staggering amount of debt, with his abandoned Neverland Ranch serving as a haunted reminder of his extravagant pop star past. With Michael having countless sold-out tours and endorsement deals, he was also the owner of a multi-million-pound music catalog that included his own work and that of artists such as the Beatles. But incredibly, the wealth he was bringing in with royalties was said to have been nothing compared to the incredible amount of debt he was simultaneously racking up. A forensic accountant asked to speak at the 2013 trial would then explain that Jackson blew his entire fortune on gifts, travel, art, zoo animals, jewelry, furniture, donations to numerous charities, as well as plastic surgery. At the time of Michael's passing, he was $500 million in debt due to his spending habits. Number 7, Lil' Kim. Before there was Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, there was Lil' Kim. With a string of successful albums to her name, she went on to mentor many others who came after her. Lately though, her name has been surfacing due to reasons unrelated to music, mostly because of her ever-changing looks. As years went by, Lil' Kim began appearing on red carpets and in interviews with lighter skin, higher cheeks, a smaller nose, and in addition, drastic alterations. It then became clear one day that the rapper was spending half of her time in the recording studio and the other half in the plastic surgeon clinic. In an interview in 2005, Lil' Kim admitted to getting several nose jobs done after she had her nose broken. The rapper then continued to undergo multiple surgeries so she could keep up with the impossible beauty standards the world kept advertising. And men also played a major role in her insecurities as they made her believe that she wasn't pretty enough. In June of 2018, Kim reportedly had to file for bankruptcy and hoped to auction off her New Jersey home to help her pay off her enormous $4 million debt. Official court documents would then reveal that the rap superstar was earning around $18,000 a month and her personal expenses were reaching close to $13,000. So this left Kim with no option but to file for bankruptcy as she couldn't find a way to pay her ever-growing amounts of money that she owed to the IRS, with her also owing over $1.5 million in federal income taxes. This would cause Kim's net worth to be around $500,000 today, which is a far cry from what she used to be worth. Number 6. Stassi Schroeder. Former Vanderpump Rules TV personality Stassi opened up in her book that she published in April of 2019 about why she chose to get a chin implant, chest reduction, among other alterations. In the book, she would say it's one of the best things that she's ever done to this day, as it made her feel good about herself. She then went on to point out that her parents trusted her judgment to get the surgery done, and she was just desperate to have a bigger chin and a more defined jaw. While the star has experienced many ups and downs in her career, like being fired from Vanderpump Rules in 2020, she has still amassed an impressive amount of money, as she has an estimated net worth of $2 million. But if she didn't fork out $20,000 on plastic surgery and then more money on nurses while they would change her bandages every day, she would probably be worth more money than she is today. Number 5. Mama June Shannon. So back in 2020, Mama June, who is known as June Shannon, is a reality TV personality known for her family show, Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. Because she has spent more than a decade on television, you would assume that June wasn't exactly hurting for money, but that clearly isn't the case. As back in 2020, June would admit that she had to sell her house after going broke, and then it would also be known that the star spent her entire fortune not only on $75,000 worth of plastic surgery, but also on substances. She would also state that she was spending over $250,000 in 4 months because she spent a large part of her fortune that she made on reality TV on surgery, while partying with her ex-boyfriend. According to the Celebrity Net Worth, Mama June is now only worth $50,000, which would likely come to a shock to many since she's on reality TV and she's amassed quite a fan following in the past decade. Number 4. Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke used to be one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood, but thanks to his obsession with plastic surgery, the star is now completely unrecognizable after leaving Hollywood to become a boxer. Mickey had a pretty successful career, and he won 27 matches, including 12 knockouts and 3 defeats between 1964 to 1973. His return to the ring as a professional boxer in the 1990s also proved to be equally successful, as he remained undefeated in 8 fights and had 6 wins, including 4 knockouts and 2 draws. Unfortunately, his career choice also came with a string of severe facial injuries, as he had to face a broken nose twice, and he even had a compressed cheekbone, which caused the star to undergo several reconstructive surgeries to treat his boxing injuries. However, many of those surgeries failed to bring the actor the desired results and prompted him to go under the knife consistently, which caused him to lose a large chunk of his net worth. While the star is now worth $10 million, he is also in $50,000 worth of debt with Amex, and he is ranked up $70,000 in therapy bills. Number 3. Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson went from earning $6.6 million a year to being flat broke. While the star has been the subject of plastic surgery rumors many times over her decade-long career, the former TV star has also been mostly quiet about which procedures she has actually undergone since her debut in 1989. The star over the years has undergone through a series of plastic surgeries, from lip fillers, nose jobs, and chest enlargement, which she had to fork out thousands of dollars. However, it wasn't just her trips to the doctors and her trips to the mall that caused Pamela to lose her entire fortune, as she would later become a tax delinquent after it was revealed that she owed over $450,000 in unpaid taxes, making the star now worth only $20 million, but it could have been more if she paid her bills and didn't spend all her money on plastic surgery and lavish spending. Number 2. Jocelyn Jocelyn Wildenstein. Former billionaire Jocelyn Wildenstein, known as Catwoman, went bankrupt with $0 in her account. Back in 2019, Jocelyn had to file for federal Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, and according to the New York Post, she listed her Citi bank account balance at $0 in the filing. She then would also note that she was only getting $900 a month in Social Security payments, which probably would have been avoidable if the star didn't spend over $4 million on plastic surgery. However, Jocelyn's love for plastic surgery has earned her the celebrity status she has today. The so-called socialite first started undergoing the knife because she wanted to please her ex-husband, as he had a thing for big cats. The star then proceeded to go through countless surgeries to land a cat-like look. While the star claims her debt came with divorce and it had nothing to do with her outrageous spending, I'm sure she didn't spend more than $4 million on surgery. She probably would still be a billionaire today, and she would be worth a lot more than $10 million. And coming at number 1 today, we have Janice Dickinson. Back in 2013, the Daily Mail would report that Janice Dickinson declared bankruptcy after she accumulated nearly $1 million in debt. The former judge on America's Next Top Model declared bankruptcy after racking up unpaid bills and doctor bills for plastic surgery procedures. Janice, who owed more than $8,000 to Vivert Hill dermatologist and also more than $8,000 in debt with a Beverly Hills anti-aging center, the former supermodel would also confirm the report later on Radar Online, where she stated she was eager to pay back her debt. On top of her plastic surgery debt, she was also in debt due to unpaid taxes, which equaled out to be more than $500,000. And she would also be accused of stealing $20,000 worth of jewelry at a charity fashion show during New York Fashion Week.
At number 10, we have Daryl Hannah. She was originally known for being a blonde bombshell, starring in Blade, Kill Bill Shark Swarm, and Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, as well as so many more. Not all of the movies were dubbed successful, but she was a talented actress all the same. In her attempt to keep her figure and face looking young, she got a little too much facial work done and ended up skewing the world's view of her for good. She got a nose job, had Botox in her cheeks and eyes and forehead, and having lip fillers that didn't work out as planned. And with her Botox, she had the tails of her eyebrows raised. She didn't age with nearly as much grace as she could have, and she learned all too late that facial fillers don't look good on everyone. At number 9, we have Amanda Lepore. She has been dubbed one of the most influential transgender women in all of America, being a singer and a performer, as well as being a model, and being dubbed a public figure because of her fearlessness in all of her endeavors. She did have some work done in this process, but as she aged, she didn't stop getting work done, and it caused her to look a little more fake than she intended. She's had a rhinoplasty, eye lift, silicone injections of every sort, and the list goes on. Her goal was to look like an animated bombshell like Jessica Rabbit, while maintaining the realism and poise of icons such as Marilyn Monroe. Sadly, she kind of missed the mark on both of those things, and in her age, she began to look a little unsettling, or like a slightly melted Barbie. It's more slippery of a slope than we may think. At number 8, we have Heidi Montag. She went from being naturally beautiful to an unnatural Hollywood type of beautiful, which makes regular people question what her thought process was. She fully admitted she had some work done, and admitted to regretting it too. Between the years of 2006 to 2010, Heidi had a lot of chest augmentations that left her with way more back pain than she expected, considering the size and stature of the rest of her body. It looked extremely unnatural, and she later regretted her choices and had them reduced. But that's not all. She also admitted to having her lips filled, her cheeks done, her chin reduced, and her tummy tucked, and even went as far to have her ears augmented. She's got longer than shoulder-length hair, her ears can't be seen much anyway. She went a little too crazy with the face and body work, and she paid for it as she got older. At number 7, we have Jennifer Grey. Starring in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Dirty Dancing, you'd think she'd be easily recognizable. But she got a lot of facial work done that made her look nothing like her younger self. And she's often been mistaken for someone else or not recognized at all because of it. Her career started to diminish after her 2 hit movies, But in her attempt to keep herself young, she got Botox, had a nose job, and had her eyelids raised, and had work in her cheeks and jaw so her face was more shapely. She went basically unnoticed for a while, but she had a small redemption arc in 2010 when she was on Dancing with the Stars. It's still unfortunate to see how much she's changed. At number 6, we have Lisa Rinna. She played the role of Billie Reed on the soap opera The Days of Our Lives, and much like the show, she didn't age well. She had most of her work done in her face, like having her eyebrows lifted, having a nose job, and most notably, her many years of getting lip injections. And they didn't age very well either. It got to a point where it was so bad that she had to have surgery to undo the amount of plastic surgery she had in her lips. You know enough is enough when you have to backpedal to fix how bad it's gotten. At number 5, we have Tara Reid. She's another one of those blonde bombshell actresses who was in cult classic movies, but other than that, had no real acting skills. She was in American Pie and Sharknado, so her success came from campy films, where she was a typecast. But she was also in the TV show Scrubs. In her attempt to maintain her typecast, she had some bodily work done, like chest augmentations and multiple tummy tucks. Sadly, as she aged, so did her procedures, and it left her with some scars, as well as some sagging here and some drooping there, and some more than obvious misshapen stomach. It's unfortunate that her body procedures didn't end well, but since she didn't get much work done in her face, overall, she still does look pretty decent for being in her 40s. At number 4, we have Ray Liotta. He has a very impressive IMDb, and has been cast in a lot more dramatic movies with hearty plot lines and a lot of character story. Now, playing characters like that can age a person, but when Ray tried to preserve his youth with Botox, it only made him look older and scarier if anything. He already had an unsettling complexion, with a thin face, small lips, and big blue eyes. But the surgery only enhanced these features and made him appear even more unsettling. It seems as if he got work done in his cheeks to remove the smile lines, and had the tails of his eyebrows lifted in the process of getting forehead Botox. And he had his eyelids lifted so they didn't show signs of drooping. His aged appearance isn't very natural, but at least it didn't put a dent in his career. At number 3, we have Jerry Burns. He is a prime example of how getting Botox does not stop the aging process. When he was younger, he starred in TV shows such as Surviving Suburbia, Justified, and Good Morning Miami. It's very obvious that he went a little too hard with the injections, and you can see where his eyebrows and eyelids have been lifted, and where his forehead doesn't move anymore. It looks more than a little fake, and it's truly unfortunate that it didn't work out very well for him. Something else that doesn't work for him is the Botox wrinkles over his eyebrows, where he was filled a little too much, and it dispersed way too fast, so now he has a permanent look of surprise or shock on his face. You can also see where he had his cheekbones filled and lifted, so his smile is more like an uncomfortable sneer that seems more sinister than approachable. Sometimes it takes a person too long to see when they've gone past the point of no return. At number 2, we have Burt Reynolds. He wasn't exactly a conventionally attractive actor, not when he was young anyway. He aged very well, all things considered, but at his age now, he began getting work done to maintain his middle-aged looks, and it did not work very well for him either. In fact, it aged him further, and he looks more like a frail old man than ever. He claimed he inherited his smooth skin from his father, but as he got older, he had fewer wrinkles than when he was natural and middle-aged. He had a rhinoplasty, an eyelid lift, lots of Botox, and a full facelift. It seems like that's all that's holding his face together now, considering how tight and stretched it looks. Aging is a natural thing, and some people can't quite grasp that. And last but not least, we have Kenny Rogers. He was a really successful person, from being an iconic musician, dubbed the pioneer of folk music, having albums from the 60s right up until he passed, and having duets with musical icons such as Dolly Parton, Dottie West, and Sheena Easton, as well as being an author and having his own chain of chicken restaurants in the 90s. He made a big name for himself, but sadly, he is also being remembered for having botched plastic surgery, as well as a god-awful spray tan. He had very masculine features like a strong brow and admirable cheekbones, but after he had the surgery, it aged him greatly and made him look more frail and delicate rather than being the lumberjack type. Something he did rock was a salt and pepper beard, which added to his personality, but alas, with more surgery and aging, it became more white and added 10 years to him rather than fixing the issue. He takes the #1 spot on our list because he looked nothing like his younger self, and it is truly unfortunate the lengths people will go to to appear younger.
Number 10, the false body image. Ever since the first dose of the Botox toxin, that's what we're gonna call it, was administered in 1989, the ideal body type has shifted. Over the years, people have chosen to receive cosmetic enhancements for various reasons. Some don't like the way that certain parts of their face or body appear, and some are forced into these situations due to some kind of an incident that left that person in need of some kind of bodily reconstruction, like Mickey Rourke. But over the years, the idea of a perfect frame has changed. But it's also a matter of personal opinion, honestly. Like, some people like dad bods, thankfully, where like some people feel that a small slender frame with more pronounced facial features is the way to go. But the trend that we're referencing today though, however, focuses on enhancing the trapezius muscles, which is located in our shoulders. The treatment lowers the percentage of fat in the shoulders and tightens up the muscle to give a more like curved and presented look to the shoulders and the neck. This is all fine and dandy, but these traits are normally attributed to like bodybuilders and people who fast for days on end. So not only is this creating a false body image for yourself, but it also is giving you a false sense of weight loss that's just not actually happening. While our shoulders naturally appear this way after muscles have been used over and over again, many people have opted to just purchase the look and skip the weights. I guess that's one way to go. Number 9, it's expensive. Much like any medical procedure, this thing costs money. Reportedly, the price varies depending on your specific region, but the cheapest procedure you can get according to many sources is like $1,050. Okay, now it's one thing if that's the price for like one and done session, okay, but the fluid used in the procedure is not permanent. Apparently this procedure only lasts for like roughly 5 months, meaning you're gonna have to come back and fork over the cash over and over and over again. Now, while many people are getting this done for cosmetic effects, many have stated that they received the procedure for its health benefits. Supposedly having this stuff jammed in your shoulder actually reduces muscle swelling and joint pain in that area, meaning that people are doing this to de-stress and relax their body. Hey, ever heard of a massage? Like, there are places that exist where you can go and have someone physically like will your muscles to relax, so why go to the extreme modification route and get your shoulders all juiced up instead? I just don't get it. Number 8, casual usage. While it's common to get physical modification to one's face, or I guess shoulders now, you can basically get work done anywhere you want. Specifically the chemical involved in trap box surgery. According to Dr. David Schaefer, a New York-based double-board certified plastic surgeon, he said that while the FDA approved the treatment for areas like crow's feet, for heads, and frown lines, the chemicals can also be used in many other places that can benefit from the procedure heavily. He explained that you can put it anywhere and that this new trend of filling the trapezius muscles is supposedly a solid one, but I don't know about all that. This information is coming from a doctor that gets paid to do this procedure. That's like a dentist telling you that chocolate is incredible for your teeth and you should actually like brush less. Also, the idea of being able to take a goo that you put into one body part and like put it in a bunch of other body parts, that just sounds nasty. Like, why would you want that? Number 7, trendy. As many of you know, TikTok is the app that seems to rule the world these days. If something is trending, whether it's some kind of challenge or game or something involving celebrity gossip, it's on TikTok. This is unfortunate considering TikTok isn't always full of fun, cool life hacks that's gonna make your day easier. Most of the time it's actually full of silly people doing so many silly things. Let's not forget a few years ago when everyone started sucking on shot glasses for views because Kylie lip looked so nice. Or they were eating that certain cleaning product simply because it looked like candy. Yeah, that blue thing in my toilet looks like candy too, but if I use it to clean, it's probably not safe to eat. So why is it not shocking that enough people posted positive or interesting stories about receiving trap talks that it is now trending on social media and stirring up quite the reaction from everyone around the world? Remember, a few years ago, kids almost exploding their faces because Kylie lips were so pretty. Just saying. Number 6, possible health issues. While the point of these procedures is to enhance one's appearance, the internal issues that can come with this is astonishing. As with anything being jammed through your skin, this particular stabby patty leaves behind large red marks and bruising. In many cases, the liquid can leak inside of your skin, causing small sores or blisters. Now, these are just the immediate after effects. This entry is all about the long-term effects on your health though. Prolonged usage of this stuff, which will be the case for anyone who wants to maintain their perfectly symmetrical shoulders, will result in muscle weakness in whatever region has been treated the most. It also slowly decreases your ability to function properly and use your basic motor skills, meaning your shoulder might look nice now, but one day you might not even have the energy to lift that venti mocha latte to your lips. And guess what? Can't bend over and sip it, cause it's the same muscle. To sacrifice one's basic motor functions for the sake of beauty is astonishing. Even if you get this procedure to help with pain, you still risk losing the function of your arms. Please, ban this immediately. We need our arms. And you may be thinking, oh, what if I just get it a few times and stop? Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. No, Karen, it's gonna be a problem. According to many horror stories, if you stop receiving regular treatments after a prolonged period of time, your body will literally droop and melt like something out of The Thing from the 80s. Ugh. Number 5, the results. With our patent pending procedure, doctors are sure to have your back looking slender and smooth for years to come. Results may vary. TikTok has blown up about this procedure seemingly due to the before and after photos of some of the patients. These photos show the dramatic change that can take place following the first round of shots. It's said to give you a slimmer figure as well as more presented shoulders, outlining the muscles underneath the skin. While this may look good at first, you will now constantly look like you're ever so slightly puffing out your chest or squaring up to anyone you walk near. This sounds uncomfortable to say the least, not just for the person receiving the shots, but the person who has to square up to a 5'3" lady drinking Starbucks. It's all good. We know that the caffeine in that cup is enough to take down whole armies single-handedly, so she's good. Number 4, toxic. Botulinum toxin. That is the specific term for what is commonly referred to as Botox. This is the chemical, that's right, chemical, that people pay thousands of dollars to have inserted into their bodies. Think about that. Toxin. When I think of that, I think of hazard signs and steaming green liquid. Oh yeah, that'll make me look awesome. The original formula back in the day was approved by the FDA, but it was originally used as a neurotoxin to help treat various illnesses by numbing muscles in the body and blocking nerve signals from reaching the brain. They used this stuff to cut off contact to our brains. Like, come on. History has proven time and time again that old school methods of medicine should stay that way. If you got a paper cut in the early 1900s, doctors were just like, well, sorry bud, better get your affairs in order. I was making a plane, man! So to whoever decided to keep using something called botulinum toxin as a beauty enhancer, I say, good afternoon! That's an old British insult that means fuck. Number 3, delivery system. One of the most painful parts of the procedure on this list is the actual way it's delivered into your skin. You see, if you're a person on planet Earth, you've probably had to get a shot once or twice. I still think it's wild that one day in school they just herd us all into the art room and administer a bunch of vaccines that you like kind of know about but not really. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, if you're like me, you've witnessed some of your best friends cower in fear at the sight of dreaded needles. Now, while getting a shot is uncomfortable when it's only 2 or 3 in a row, imagine getting 20 of them one after the other into one specific spot on your body. Someone is stabbing you with the thinnest little sword in the world and you're just sitting there and letting it happen. Now, I'm not a fan of needles by any means, but I can handle a trip to the doctors with no problem. But put me in a chair and stab my shoulder 20 times, see how quick I pass out. Many procedures involving beauty solutions have begun to shift to an alternate, less invasive form of delivery, however. Blue lights and various infrared technologies have been developed to treat aging in skin, tension or pain in shoulder and joints, as well as for therapeutic purposes to decrease migraines and messy thoughts. Now, I'd much rather wear a motorcycle helmet full of Christmas lights than get Botoxed any day of the week. Number 2, side effects. Oh, speaking of the long-term side effects, oh boy, let's talk about how you're going to feel the first few days after you get your shots. After receiving your first treatment, it's not uncommon to find large red spots or painful bruises at the injection site. Following this, you'll start to feel dizzy, find it mildly difficult to swallow, which is a pretty important function, increase your risk of respiratory infections, and as we all know, those can close the world and land you in a hospital, and no one wants that. So over the following weeks, you will suffer from many symptoms, including double vision, migraines that only the strongest of medications can fix, drooping or swollen eyes, and increased sensitivity to light. While a lot of these issues are treatable and can be temporary, you will need to purchase various medications to help counteract that toxin in your body. Some of these medicines can cause people to sweat profusely, cause neck pain or muscle stiffness, and literally anxiety. One of the side effects is anxiety. Like, yes, please give me a bottle of something that already courses through my veins. And number one, the influence on youth. As previously mentioned in this list, TikTok seems to be behind a lot of problems popping up with the younger generation. For instance, I recently discovered the existence of Water Talk, which is like a group of people on TikTok who genuinely believe that water filled with syrups and candy flavoring is like healthy and delicious. Anyone with common sense knows that that sounds like a health problem waiting to happen, but there are hundreds of thousands of people who are like, oh yay, yummy cotton candy water, slurp slurp. So of course the fact that this shoulder enhancing shenanigans is a bad influence for people shouldn't shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Like I said before, people are eating cleaning products because someone on TikTok was doing it. If TikTok told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? There have been over 2.3 million views on some of these videos expressing many patients' personal excitement following their procedures. With so many people advocating for the extreme modification on the most influential social media platform to date, we wonder how long it will be before everyone has perfect shoulders and a headache that just won't go away.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis, the Scream Queen, once spilled the beans about her plastic surgeries she did in this interview where she was frankly super honest about it. Turns out she went through a whole bunch of procedures like liposuction and Botox, but she said straight up that none of it really worked out the way she'd hoped. Even though her face didn't change drastically, you can definitely tell she's had some work done if you look closely. But despite all of that, apparently she's totally cool with aging naturally. At her age, she's still rocking it and keeping her status as the Scream Queen intact. Quite refreshing to see a celeb being real about this stuff. Jamie Lee Curtis teaches us that even with all the money and access to all these fancy procedures, things don't always turn out as planned. But at least she's still confident and embracing herself, and at the end of the day, I suppose that's what really matters. Coming up next is Blac Chyna, also known as Angela White, made some pretty big moves. She decided to undo a bunch of the plastic surgery stuff she had done before. See, she wasn't really feeling the way she looked anymore, so she got rid of all those fillers and stuff she had put in her face. Originally, she changed a lot about her face, her cheeks, her chin, her nose, her lips, I mean, you name it. But as time went on, she started feeling like she was looking a bit plastic, I guess. Then she came clean about it, saying that she felt a bit out there and not like herself anymore. She even told her fans that going under the blade for cosmetic reasons definitely wasn't worth it. She started going back to being called Angela, her birth name, and trying to get back to her original self. She admitted that the look wasn't great and it really didn't represent who she was. Undoing all that surgery took time, but now she's on the path to getting back to her natural looking self. If you're enjoying the video so far, you could support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to be on the screen, and ringing that notification bell. Coming up next is Michael Jackson, who is definitely the most well-known name on this list. And seeing that he made a very drastic change, he spent 30 years trying to look exactly like who he wanted to be. He had over 100 facial procedures done, mostly because one of his previous doctors had totally botched his face. He had multiple nose jobs, his skin bleached, lip fixtures, and cheek enhancements. There were a few different reasons why he made the changes, one being that he wanted to resemble Diana Ross, and another reason being that he wanted to remove any sort of resemblance to his father, whom he had a deep-seated hatred for. When he started out in music, he had acne scars and felt like his nose was too big, so a few years later, he got the scarring removed and had his nose fixed up so he felt a little bit better about himself. Over the years, he got his nose done numerous amount of times, totally got rid of his natural afro, made his cheekbones higher, his lips thinner, bleached his skin, and his eyelids raised. Overall, at the end of the day, I don't think it was really worth it, as he never really reached his ideal look. Next up, you won't believe it, but Courtney Cox spilled the beans about her experience with facial fillers. Yeah, she totally went for them, hoping to keep that youthful look going strong, but it did not turn out as planned. She was really hoping to dodge that aging bullet like most of us would, I guess. But instead of getting the results she wanted, it ended up being a complete and total regret for her. So what did she do? Well, she made the bold move to dissolve all those fillers. She just wanted to feel more like her old self and go for the natural look again. Plus, she mentioned something pretty interesting. She didn't like that the fillers messed with her facial movements. Imagine not being able to move your face properly because of all that stuff you got crammed in there. Yeah. No thanks. Next up, Kim Kardashian's journey with plastic surgery was quite the roller coaster. She's been on a transformation spree, starting with her famous back end implants that were practically a shelf for a champagne bottle. Cheeks, yeah, she filled those up with some enhancers. She tinkered with her nose a whole bunch of times, and plus she went for a whole bunch of other body tweaks. But the kicker is that she's big on a skin enhancer thing that's all about filling and smoothing, making sure she's always picture perfect without a single blemish. Throw in those regular spray tans that for that eternal sun-kissed look. And her contouring game used to be her thing, but enhancing those facial features like an artist, but more recently, she did a switcheroo by letting go of her Brazilian lift that she had going on, but apparently there was no surgery to undo that. She just went for the slow and steady weight loss route, letting things naturally settle back to normal. Next up is Kenny Rogers. So Kenny Rogers was aging so gracefully. He almost had this Santa Claus look going on, but you know, with the sweet features and that white beard. But then he messed all that up, deciding to tweak his cheekbones, went overboard on his eyelids, got a nose job, and ended up with this super fake tan. The result being, well, just say he didn't quite look like the Kenny Rogers we all knew and loved. I mean, some say he even resembled a, Walmart version of himself, like a bad taxidermy job gone wrong. It's kind of sad, but also a little bit funny. May he rest in peace, though. Despite all that, he left behind a legacy through his music that will always be remembered. Next up, Burt Reynolds. Yeah, remember him? He wasn't your typical Hollywood heartthrob, especially when he was younger. But hey, he aged pretty darn well, all things considered. However, as he got older, he decided to go through the surgery route to maintain his middle-aged charm. Problem was, it did not pan out. Instead of enhancing his look, it totally backfired. He ended up looking more like a fragile grandpa than ever before. He used to credit his smooth skin to his pops, but as time went on, he got fewer wrinkles when he was middle-aged. He went all in with surgeries, getting a nose job, eye lifts, oodles of all kinds of Botox, and even a full facelift. Some say his face seems like it's being held together by those surgeries because it looks so tight and stretched. Now it seems like Burt might have missed the memo about embracing the natural look, but aging gracefully isn't everyone's cup of tea, I suppose. Next up is Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers, you know, she never truly was content with how she looked. Her daughter spilled the beans in a memoir mentioning that Joan went through 348 surgeries and a whopping 700 plus facial tweaks. Could you imagine? All that to chase a dream look that just kept slipping away. She'd crack jokes about celebs in her stand-ups, but she'd also throw shade at herself, which is a bit sad in hindsight. In 2014, during a routine throat procedure, things took a bad turn. It wasn't because she wanted more surgery, no, medical injuries snagged her life when her brain didn't get enough oxygen during that procedure. Which is super wild considering the fortune she poured into her looks. But hey, teaches us something important, that no amount of surgery can fix how you feel on the inside. Next up is Donatella Versace. Back in the day, she had these naturally full lips and a smooth skin that were envied by many. Now fast forward, and her recent appearance makes heads turn, not in a good way. Doctors took a closer look at her recent pics and spotted some telltale signs. That extra shiny skin's probably too much Botox and laser treatments trying to make things smoother. And that's not all. They suspect some bone loss in her lower jaw, hinting at possible jaw implants. Versace is a classic cautionary tale about the risks of going too far with plastic surgery. Sometimes aiming for a better look can end up making things worse. So while celebs may have all the resources for surgeries, we can't always reverse these changes. And coming up last on our list is Betty White, the amazing lady we all adore. She did something quite unexpected, getting her eyelids lifted. Now she was all about embracing natural beauty, saying that we're all born unique and beautiful in our own way. But then she went for this eyelid lift. Now at first she wasn't too sure about it, scolding herself for years about it afterwards. But as she grew older, she kind of made peace with it. She realized it didn't totally mess up her lovable face or her charm. Betty always said that everybody's got their own special kind of beauty, but sometimes even the best need a little boost, I guess. And hey, it didn't change the fact that she was still the same witty, wonderful person we all knew and loved. So yeah, even someone as awesome as Betty White can try something new and still get away with it.